Om Namah Shivaya. I am very glad that I am able to take part in this satsang for Amma's 68th birthday celebrations. And probably most of you and all of you might have seen today morning's the live relay and all. Anyhow, like during as part of our KL satsang as the pujas, we will try to do some little bit of spiritual thinking and discussion. So as part of that, I am trying to discuss or trying to like talk little bit about Amma and whatever I know. See, today is Amma's 60th birthday, and many of us are Amma's devotees, and we know and we have got darshan from Amma. As a good child of Amma, what is the best birthday gift we can give to Amma? What is the best birthday gift a good child can give it to its mother? So, like we can introspect. Each one of us can think different ways, right? So, because in why I am asking you this question is, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, in all the three worlds, I have nothing to attain. In all the three worlds, I have nothing to attain. Still, I do my actions. Still, I do my karma. That's what in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says. Even in all the 14 worlds, in Tamil they say Irelu Padinangu Lohangal. So even in the 14 worlds, Amma has nothing to gain or nothing to earn. Still, Amma is engaged in action. Amma is tirelessly striving to give solace to the people. So Krishna or Amma, they don't have anything to gain from us. In such a situation, Amma being our mother, what is the best gift we can give to our mother? When in Tamil, there is some a famous Ramayanam is written by a poet called Kambar. When somebody went and asked, what is the best gift you can give to God? The poet Kambar replies, in Tamil he replies, நாராயணனுக்கு ஆராதனை என் அறியாமை ஒன்றே. நாராயணனுக்கு ஆராதனை என் அறியாமை ஒன்றே. It means, Kambar says that to my Lord, the best thing I can give as a gift is my ignorance. The best thing I can give to my Lord, to my mother, is my ignorance. Because everything else Amma has. Only ignorance Amma does not have. And we all have it. So that is the only thing which Amma doesn't have and we have. So that is the only thing we can offer. Everything else Amma has. Amma has nothing to attain anything in all the three worlds. How we can try to be a good child of Amma? For Amma, there is no difference. For example, once in Amritaburi Amma was telling, Amma's love does not have any discrimination. Because some people, some devotees, in Amritaburi Ashram, we have all kinds of devotees and all kinds of inmates. Brahmacharis are there, Brahmacharinis are there, Swamis are there, Sannyasis are there, Sannyasinnis are there, householder devotees are, Grihasthaashramis are there, and many other, all international, so many different country people are there. So there are different kinds of people present in Amritaburi, and one Grihasthaashrami thought Amma gives more attention to the spiritual aspirants like the Brahmacharis, Brahmacharinis. But that is not the truth. Amma's love flows. It doesn't have any limitations, a good person, a bad person, like that. For example, let me tell you, in 2003 or 4, I almost travel every year with Amma to USA. And in 2003 or 4, in Amma's US tour, one person asked Amma, Amma, there is some kind of terrorist attacks happened, and this is done by a particular world famous terrorist. What is Amma's opinion on this? When Amma started replying for this question during a retreat, Do you know what is the first word Amma said? What Amma said is that terrorist moan cheydathu tettanu. In Malayalam they use a different word. Moan cheydathu tettanu. This is the word Amma started with. We all got stunned because his whole world is trying to catch him and is such an accused terrorist, and Amma is representing him as moan. Because for Amma for love there is no barriers. Amma doesn't have any reservations for anybody to share Amma's love. Well, let me Amma's devotees, they have all kinds of things they can get from Amma. Amma is like Kamadhenu. I used to tell this often in my satsangs. When Swami Vivekananda and his fellow brothers, the spiritual aspirants, after Ramakrishna Paramahamsa left his mortal body, they were suffering a lot and they were not even having food. At those days, the fellow brothers asked Swami Vivekananda, shall we go back to our homes and then continue our normal life? Then at that time, Swami Vivekananda replies this sloka from Viveka Chudamani. He says that sloka ends like this. Manushutvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha samseha. That is the way it ends. You might have heard of this sloka. That is, it's a rare opportunity to get a human birth. Because in Tamil there is something called Siva Puranam where they says Pullai, Pudai, Puluvai, Maramagi, Palvirgamagi, Paravayai, Pambagi, Kallai, Manidarai, Devarai, Ganangalai. Like that we have taken birth. We have taken birth in millions of forms. After such millions of such forms, now we have got the rare opportunity to take birth as a human being. Manushyatvam. The second thing is Mumukshutvam. Even though we take birth as a human being, getting interest in getting rid of the sorrows. That is, how will I end my sorrows? That thought is called as mumukshutvam. So we should have some urge inside us so that we have some ache to end our sorrows. We should have some expectation to end our sorrows. So how to end our sorrows? By not taking birth. Manushyatvam, mumukshutvam. Mahapurusha samsega. Even though you have taken birth as a human being, even though you have some kind of inclination to do some spiritual practices or you have some kind of desire for liberation, still getting a guru, getting a master in the human form is most difficult. And Swami Vivekananda says, we have got all the three. We got human birth, we have some kind of inclination towards spiritual things, and we have got an Avadara Purusha. Still, we are wasting our opportunity. This opportunity means what a big waste it is. That's what Vivekananda says. Same thing. But at least in the case of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, so he is an Avadara Purusha, he is a divine incarnation. He himself has to do a lot of penance and tapas to get Bhavatarini Kali's vision. Such a great soul has to do so much of sadhana to get Bhavatarini Kali's vision. But what about us? We all Amma devotees, we are not doing that much tapas, but we are able to get Amma's darshan. What kind of luck we are having? Still, our mind goes around and it is not getting controlled. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says about this also. He says, "O son of Kunti, mind is very difficult to control. It's like the wind that is moving in all directions. But we can control our mind by vairagya and abhyasa, by detachment and practice, by training, by taming the mind. By detachment and taming the mind, we can control it. We can focus it towards God." That's what in Bhagavad Gita Lord Krishna says. This has been told in many literatures and many shastras. Even in Tamil, there is a poet 1000 years back. She is called as Avvayar. Avvayar. She says the same thing in what Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. The same thing Avvayar also told. Chittiramum kaipazhakkam, senthamizhum naapazhakkam, vaithadoru kalvi manapazhakkam, nittam nadayum nadaipazhakkam, dayayum natpum kodayum piraviggunam. What it says, everything in the life, by practice, you can achieve it, except few things about your parampara and your hereditary, those kind of things. Everything else you can achieve by practice. That's what Lord Krishna says. That's what Amma also is teaching us. Whoever is Amma devotee, they always wish each other with the word Om Namah Shivaya. I bow down to the auspiciousness in you. I bow down to the auspiciousness in you. So that is Om Namah Shivaya. It's a great, great, great auspicious mantra by telling which we are getting so much of auspiciousness. What is the difference between praying to Sarveshwara or praying to Lord Vishnu or Lord Maheshwara and praying to Amma? What is the difference? When we pray to Lord Shiva, you get Shivalokam. You get the after this life, you get Shivalokam. You attain with God, Lord Shiva. If you pray to Lord Vishnu, you get Vaikuntha Loka. You reach his abode, his heavens. But when you pray to Amma, when you pray to Devi, when you pray to Mother Kali, that is our Amma, when you pray to Parashakti, what you get? It's not only like what Lord Shiva is giving, what Lord Vishnu is giving. Amma Devi is called as Bhukti Mukti Pradayini. She gives you both. She gives you material benefits. She gives you all the comforts of these worldly enjoyments. At the same time, she gives you liberation also. That is why praying to Devi is little special. It's not like Sai Visham or Vaina Visham or Saktam. Praying to Devi is little special. That too, we are also blessed. In what way? Because we are able to see Devi when she has taken a human form. And we are able to see that her birthday celebrations also. Because recognizing God in human form is a very difficult task. It's not easy. Only when you have so much of accumulated merits from so many births, you will be able to recognize when God is in human form. When Lord Rama was going from Ayodhya to forest, many rishis who were doing tapas at the forest were able to see him, but most of them were not able to recognize him as Mahavishnu. They all saw him as Dasaratha Putra Rama is going. They all saw him as Dasaratha Putra. But only few rishis were able to identify this is not only Dasaratha Putra, this is Lord Mahavishnu himself. Because they had that much amount of merits. Same way, when in this world, in this current Kalikalam, we have to recognize, we have to understand truly that Amma is Kali, Amma is Devi, Amma is Parashakti, Amma is Meenakshi, Amma is Visalakshi, Amma is Kamakshi. Like that, Amma is all kinds of deity, whatever you are thinking. To understand that, we and our forefathers should have done lot of good deeds so that that accumulated merit will help us to recognize that Amma is God. Otherwise, as a normal human being, we will have lot of doubts. This is a materialistic age. In this age, getting a doubt about anything is very easy. But having faith on something is very difficult. So only when we have accumulated merits, in India we say punyam. Punyam, only when we have punyam, we will be able to understand that Amma is God. I am still working as a professor in Amma's Engineering College in Electronics Department. I had one of my colleague, a lady, and she's a junior staff, assistant professor. And I'm telling you something, some incident 10 years before it happened. And she got married, and for 2 years, she didn't have any child. And every year she was undergoing miscarriage and abortion. And I didn't know all these things. But later, when that staff member came to assist me on the labs, I came to know this through another staff member. So I told her, why can't you go and see Amma? She's a Malayali and she is my colleague. And I told you and your husband can go and meet Amma and tell your problem. And she told nobody in her house or in her husband's house have faith on human gods. മനുഷ്യ ദൈവങ്ങളെ വിശ്വസിക്കുന്നില്ല. അപ്പോൾ none of us we have faith on Amma. Sorry, like that she told. But then I told, okay, you did not have faith, but you and your husband and your entire family wants a child. You are all crying, right? Because every year she will take, once she gets an abortion, she will become absent for 1.5 months because she will be crying for 1.5 months at home. So I told, everybody in your family needs a child. You need not to go and meet Amma as a guru or a god. You can go and meet Amma as a doctor. You are meeting so many doctors. Why can't you try this also? But still, she was reluctant and she didn't want to try that because based on her surroundings and then relatives and in many other ways, they will start mocking her. They will start making fun of her that she went and met Amma. But anyhow, I didn't force her. I just gave what is my opinion to her. Later, after few months, one day I was going from Amritapuri Engineering College to Amritapuri through that Amrita Setu bridge. Suddenly, I saw she and her husband coming in front from Amritapuri ashram out, having in both hands, both of them having 2 bananas in their hand. I saw her and then she stopped and she didn't know how to express. And then she told, sir, we got Amma's darshan. Then I said, okay. Then she walked away. That's all. Nothing. She and her husband, they walked away. In 1 year exactly, she got a very beautiful girl child delivered. And then she was very happy. And the nicest part is, after that darshan, till now, she has not gone for Amma's darshan. She and her husband and her child. Why I am telling you is, even the people who don't believe Amma, who don't have faith on Amma, they come and get the benefits from Amma. Amma doesn't reserve anything. Even her enemy comes and gets for darshan and gets for her grace, Amma will give it. And Amma does not have any enemies. Other people may think like that Amma is her enemy or something. So Amma's compassion, it's beyond boundaries. Even a person who is working in Amma's college just across the backwaters, she and her family did not have faith on Amma. But they had a problem. They had a lifetime problem and they desperately wanted a solution. They went and met Amma. They just got Amma's darshan. And because she's a Malayali, she was able to explain in Malayalam to Amma. Amma just gave a banana. The sankalpa Amma would have done. And she and her husband, they got the banana. And within 1 year, they got their child. See, here, this is where the compassion of a Mahatma or God works. God or Amma does not have any reservations. For Amma, the whole world is Amma's children, or even not only the human beings, even the animals, even the plants, everything is Amma's children only. In Sanskrit, the glory mantra, I would say always, this land of rishis and saints and seers, our land, our country called Bharadam, it has given, for the entire world, it has given one fantastic message that is called as Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. That is what Amma's message also. Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. In Tamil, they say, Yadum Ure Yavarum Kelir. Yadum Ure Yavarum Kelir. The whole world is your land and everybody is your kith and kin. That is what the meaning of the Tamil word. So that is what Amma is teaching us. We have narrow-minded like love, whereas Amma is having boundless love. She blesses even the people who doesn't believe in her. So that is the difference between us and Amma. We do have love, but reserved love. Even whether it's our friend or family member or anybody relative, only if they are nice to us, only if they do the things what we like, then we love them, we help them. If they do something which we don't like, we don't help them. Because our love is bounded love. Our love is condition-based love. Whereas Amma's love is, in Lalita Sahasranaman, the 995th mantra, Avyaja Karuna Murtaye Namaha. Avyaja Karuna Murtaye Namaha. The one who showers her compassion on everyone without any conditions, without any reservations. Avyaja Karuna Murtaye Namaha. That Lalita Devi is exactly has come in the form of human form, and that is our Amma. Amma does not have any reservations. There are so many things we can discuss about Amma and Amma's birthday, and we have to give something to Amma, and that's what I already told. The only thing we can give to Amma is what we have and what Amma doesn't have. That is our ignorance, our pride, our ego. That is all that kind of things only we can give, which Amma doesn't have and we all have. In Sanskrit, there is one famous mantra says, Bhavagrahi Janardanaha. Bhavagrahi Janardanaha. God doesn't see our attire. God doesn't see how much coat and suit we are wearing. God looks into our heart. God looks deep into our heart. When you go for darshan, you can see how Amma's eyes sprinkling, and she looks into us. She is able to see inside us. Many people ask Amma, how do you know what others are thinking? How do you know? Then Amma says, whenever they come for darshan, I put a small portion of myself into their heart. So whenever they get some feelings, I sit in their heart and I am able to tap it first, even though the thought goes to their mind. So even before they recognize their thought, I understand what is their thought. What is their thought? I know one women devotee in America. She saw Amma first time there, and she was trying to remember Amma during her daily activities. And whenever she closes her eyes and trying to do some kind of small meditation, thinking of Amma, she will get the vision of a cat. A cat. And she tried this many times, all the times. Whenever she closes her eyes, she is getting the vision of a cat. And she didn't know what to do. And that year in June month, when Amma came for US tour, this lady devotee went for darshan. And she didn't say anything to Amma. Amma gave darshan, and Amma put both her hands on the shoulder of this devotee, and Amma asked to this devotee, Ennadi, enna kanda unakku poona mari theriyudha? Amma asked in Tamil. Amma speaks very good Tamil and Malayalam. Amma asked to her, my darling daughter, whenever you see me, do you think I am a cat? See, think of the shock that devotee is getting at that time, because there are millions and millions of devotees all over the world for Amma, and she is a newly seen devotee, and she is having something in her private vision, and when she is going for darshan, and out of the so many millions of people, she is not even a dust. And Amma is recognizing her feelings and thoughts, and Amma is talking to her. In my viewpoint, Amma knows what you are thinking right now, what you are doing right now. And when we are doing something wrong or good or bad, and the thoughts that is passing through, maybe in one day, I'm having 1,000 bad thoughts and one good thought. Amma sees all those, and Amma appreciates that one good thought I had. Amma appreciates only the goodness in everyone, and even though they may be having so many bad things in their heart and mind and body and in all other ways, but still Amma sees what good this person is having. That is what Amma's focus is always. How can I help my child? That is what Amma is saying. Let me give you one interesting experience of Amma's devotee. One of my friend, his name is Vineet Nair. When I was working in America, I used to see him in Amma's programs. In 2004, when Amma's darshan was going on in New York, he came there and he was crying to Amma like anything. He's basically from Mumbai, and he was doing his PhD in New York, Rutgers University, one of the good and famous university in the world, and he was doing his PhD. And I was standing by the side of Amma and I was just listening what he is telling to Amma. This boy was telling, Amma, I am doing here my PhD in pharmaceutical science here, but my supervisor, my guide, my PhD guide is a Chinese guy, and he doesn't like Indians. And I am, he, except me, everybody else is a Chinese PhD student for him. I am the only Indian. And I am doing this for almost like 5 years now. And he is not giving me degree. Whereas many people who joined after me, they all got their degree and they went out within 3 years, 4 years like that. Amma, I'm really desperate. I don't know what to do. I thought of canceling. I thought of leaving this PhD program and want to go back to India. I'm very much depressed. I'm really feeling so sad like that. And he cried like anything to Amma. Then Amma listened to all his sorrow. And then Amma said, you try your best. Then he said, Amma, I already have so many publications. I have so many things. Even the students who has graduated after me, for them, I only wrote the papers. But just because I'm an Indian, they are, he is doing like this. Amma, you have to do something. Otherwise, I don't know. My life is going waste now because this is the 6th year and I'm going to get, I'm going to become 30 years old now. And till now, I'm not earned any money. And like that and all, he was crying like that. In his, my parents are old. I have to do something for them. He told so much of his sorrow. Then Amma said, okay, like that. Amma said, Amma Sankalpikam. Then he left. Within the next November tour, when Amma came, he came happily and he told Amma, Amma, my guide has signed my thesis and I have completed my defense. Then he explained. Then Amma was happy and he put the doctorate coat and those hat and all to Amma only. He didn't use them. He put it to Amma and he gave the certificate to Amma and he was taking a photo also. And the thing is, later he told me how the thing happened. Once he cried to Amma, he went back. Within few weeks, his guide, his Chinese guide, was diagnosed with cancer. His guide was diagnosed with cancer, and the doctors has clearly told that he will be alive only few more months. And this Chinese guide, he was so upset and he doesn't know what to do. He was trying to set right all his deeds and he wanted to do, because doctors advised him, you take you start completing all your property things because only few more months for you, like that. So he got so much felt bad, and the Chinese guide, and then he later finally he thought everybody else he has moved them to other guides. Only this Indian guy is waiting, Vineet. So what he did is let this guy get away, and then the Chinese guy told, I am going to sign your thesis, but you should never work in India, never work in America. You should go back to India. You people are always a big problem for us, like that. And he wanted so many things, and then finally he signed the thesis, and Vineet was so happy. And like I thought immediately when he was explaining this, I thought, oh, just to protect this boy, Amma gave cancer to somebody else, like that. Then what Vineet told is the most surprising thing. As soon as Vineet's defense is over, the next few days, his Chinese guide went for medical checkup, and the doctors astonishingly they told the cancer has vanished. The cancer has vanished, and there is no sign of any cancer there for him. And now that guy came back and he's completely all right, and he has started doing his things, is that professor. And now Amma's devotee, he is completely safely, he has awarded the degree and he is happily living in India, in Mumbai now. Why I am telling you is Amma's Leela, Devi's Leela, is beyond our imagination and beyond our intellect. Buddhikum mele mevum mageshi. You might have heard in Amma's bhajans, Buddhikum mele mevum mageshi. That is Amma's ways of doing things, Amma's leelas. We cannot comprehend using our normal intellect. If we try to comprehend or if we try to analyze Amma's place, we will fail. We will desperately fail. Because Amma, if you want to know who Amma is, let me tell you one simple way. From the first day of this world, who are all the rishis, who are all the Avadara Purushas, who are all the gods and demigods, who are all the Mahatmas, who are all the saints and seers, you know, list all of their names. List all of those great saintly and divinely, all those personalities' names. And the whole integrated of all these saints and seers and gods and demigods and everything, that is the integrated form is Amma. And you add your biological mother also in the list, including your biological mother and all gods and saints. That is integrated form is Amma. In for Ramakrishna devotees, you can easily realize it. Chandreya Sarada Keli Kallolida Sudabdaye Namaha. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Sarada Devi together in one form is Amma. So we cannot try to analyze Amma's way of doing, how it will be like to become Amma. That is, we don't want to do that, because Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says that a devotee, he doesn't want to become sugar, he wants to taste sugar. Amma is the sugar. Amma is the sugar candy. I don't want to become a sugar candy. I want to taste the sugar candy. I want to be a child of Amma. I want to be a devotee of Amma. That is what the devotee's way of thinking. They don't want to become Amma. They want to become a devotee of Amma. That is more tasty. So, the ways, the leelas, the experiences, the different things about Amma, we can keep on talking. The thing is, the best thing what you can give to Amma on Amma's birthday. Kambar says, Narayananukku Aaradhanai en ariyamai ondre. Others, what we are thinking, we can offer all our negative qualities to Amma. But the thing is, how we can get that protection, the grace from Amma all the time. For that, I will tell you a single tip and I will try to complete my talk. Many people have told this. The nicest and easiest thing is, because we are not the rishis or saints like the olden days without any desires. In Tamil, there is a wording by Nammalvar, the one famous saint 2000 years back, Nammalvar, a Vaishnavi saint. Attradu patranil uttradu veedu. Attradu patranil uttradu veedu. If you leave all your desires, you are attaining liberation. If you leave all your desires, you are attaining liberation. That's what this Nammalvar says. So, but we are not like that kind of people. We have so many desires, not hundreds of desires. We may be having thousands of desires. And I want all my desires also to be fulfilled. At the same time, I want liberation also. Then Amma is the best choice. Because Amma is Bhukti Mukti Pradayini. Then how to go to near Amma and how to get hold of Amma strongly? How to be in connection with Amma? The easy tip which I used to tell is, you are doing all your regular duties, day-to-day activities. During all your day-to-day activities, try to have some way of connection to Amma. For example, you are waiting in the bus stop and you are waiting for the bus and the bus has not come for a long time. In Tamil Nadu, they used to curse those situations. Saniyam pidicha bus varavilla, like that they say something. So they curse the situation. Instead of that, you can change it like, Amma, the bus has not yet arrived. I have to go to my work. I have to go to my home. Amma, bus has not arrived. So even these kind of negative situations, as if you are talking to Amma, you can tell to Amma. When you are doing some cooking at home, you can talk to Amma and do the cooking. That day your cooking will be more delicious. You will be able to feel it, and others also will be able to feel it. So every action you are, one doctor I was talking, and the doctor devotee, she told, she's from America, and she told, even when I go to toilet, I talk to Amma. I just tell to my Amma in my heart or in my mind, Amma, I'm going to toilet. Even small things, whatever we are doing in our day-to-day activities, we can, as if we are talking to Amma, we can do the things, and the things, whether you are doing it with awareness, without awareness, Amma is taking care of it. So that is a simple thing which we can try to practice in our daily life, which will help us tremendously. What else the better benefit we can get by going near Amma? If you reach near Amma, you are getting all the benefits. When you go near a Karpaha Taru, when you are going near a wish-fulfilling tree, when you are going near Kamadhenu, a celestial cow which can give you whatever you want. When you are going near Amma, whatever you want, even if you have millions of desires, Amma will fulfill it. You should have the patience to get all those things to enjoy. Amma will be able to fulfill even millions of desires you have in this world. And Amma can give you liberation also, whatever you want. What else? But how to be near Amma, how to be in connection with Amma all the time. Whatever the silly things we are doing, whatever the simple things we are doing, whatever the day-to-day things we are doing, try to be in touch with Amma in your heart. That inner connection with Amma will give you whatever you need. You need not even go openly and express to Amma when you are going for darshan. I know many devotees who have lot of inner desires, but when they try to tell to Amma in Tamil Nadu and all, in India and all, when you are getting Amma's darshan, the maximum time you are getting Amma's darshan is 1 second or 2 seconds. Even before you realize you went near Amma, you are out of the line. We used to do such kind of things in Madurai and in many other places. We used to check. We used to have a counter and we used to click it. In 1 minute, how many people are getting Amma's darshan? The lowest is 26. The highest is like almost 50, 52. Think of it, in 1 minute, 52 people are getting darshan. That much crowd is here. And even in that few seconds, you are not able to express your problems to Amma. But whatever you have in your heart, Amma knows it. That is what Amma is. So such a divine, the goddess herself has come on earth in human form with like feet and hands and human body. And if, as Swami Vivekananda says, we got the human birth, we got little bit of spiritual inclination, we have met Amma, we have got Amma's darshan. And now, even after all this, if we are not able to behold Amma in our heart, we are missing a great chance. So during Amma's birthday, this fantastic, one of the historic day, what I urge to all my fellow brothers and sisters is try to establish your inner connection with Amma in simple things. Whatever the simple acts you are doing in those things, try to be in connection with Amma. Let others think that you are talking to yourself. No problem at all. But Amma knows. Amma knows what is in your heart. Amma will be there even in every breath of you, and then she will be taking care of you. That is, we are Amma's children. Where else we will go? So, with this note, I conclude my talk, and I wish all the best to all of you to achieve your nearness to Amma, and I pray to Amma that all her children attain the supreme realization. Thanks to one and all. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Amriteswariyai Namaha.